Welcome to the Chaos Multiverse. Jimmy or Chaos here. We have episode 1 and 2 of the Disney Plus Hawkeye series. This has been a much anticipated series because this was kind of touted as it was going to bring us back to the classic Marvel formula, which a lot of people like. Wandavision, we went on an adventure. Now, I would say the Falcon and Winter Soldier was pretty classic as well, but the other ones, they've been out there. Loki and adventure. What if? An adventure. So today we're going to go through all the plot points, Easter eggs, all the bullet points of episode 1 of Hawkeye. And I want to know what you guys think as well. We'll break down each one of these episodes. Probably have episode 2 up tomorrow since they both dropped. And you guys let me know what you think. Make sure you're subscribed with your notifications fully turned on. It's not just a Spider-Man channel, although, yeah. Anyway, so we're just going to go through bullet points throughout the episode. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to be spoiled, you haven't seen it yet, you should probably click off the video. So, we open up in 2012, just before the Battle of New York, and Kate overhears her parents arguing about actually moving. Now, she is noticed, and her dad comes in, and he assures her that he's always going to protect her. I do want to say this, Kate Bishop, I mean, you're going to love this character. I truly, truly feel that. And then Dad leaves and Kate has lunch with her mom before getting some checkers to go play. At that moment, Chitauri fly past the window. Explosions start happening and we are in the Battle of New York, which I thought was a pretty cool way to kick off this series. Kate looks around the house for her parents, but she can't find them. Then she looks through a hole in the wall to see Stark Tower and then a Chitauri flying towards her. Now, before it gets to her, guess what? An arrow melts the craft that the Chitauri is flying on, and it falls out of the sky. Yep, you know who the arrow came from. Now, then it shows us the scene in Avengers 1 where Clint fires that specific arrow and then grapples off the roof, but from Kate's point of view, from Kate's vantage point, which, once again, I thought that was pretty cool. We then see a funeral where the dad is revealed to have died, and Eleanor, Kate's mom, tells her she will give Kate anything she asks for, and guess what? She wants a bow and arrow. So that's kind of our setup right there. She was inspired by Clint in 2012, and during the intro, we see her train. She trains in martial arts, she trains in archery, fencing, gymnastics, everything she thinks she needs to know to become the next Hawkeye. Then we cut to present day. She's climbing a building, trying to ring the bell in the bell tower using an arrow. You guys saw this on a TV spot, I'm sure. And her friends are on a phone call with her, watching it. She then alters the next arrow and tries again when it rings out, but it actually collapses the tower that we saw in the promotion. Security arrives, takes her away. Her friends run off so they don't get caught. So it's just Kate. You're going to find she almost has a Peter Parker vibe to her. Like, she wants to do good, but she messes up, but she'll fix it. That's the vibe I get, which I really, really like. It shows Kate's ability, though, with an arrow and a bow right out of the gate. We then see New York, 2025. The setting is 2 years after Endgame, and it's Christmas time. Marvel Christmas movies are the best. Iron Man 3. I'm kidding, kind of. Anyway, Clint and his 3 kids are at the Rogers musical, which shows the Battle of New York, with Cap even singing, "I Can Do This All Day." We saw that in the promotional material as well. Now, the "I Can Do This All Day" is a song, of course, referencing Cap's use of that phrase that he never gives up. You guys already know. It's a good callback. Clint looks at the Natasha impersonator, and he gets upset. So he heads to the bathroom. He doesn't like that at all. Obviously, he lost Natasha, and to see somebody impersonating her in a musical, it's kind of just wrong. Now, Clint has hearing aids now, and I would assume that's due to the events in the Battle of Earth at the end of Endgame. He was human. Remember, he didn't have any superhero powers, and he's in the middle of this Armageddon battle with Thanos and all of his minions. He then notices writing on the sink saying Thanos was right, and he gets upset again. It's clear. Clint wants to leave his life as an Avenger aside and wants to focus on his family now that he knows what life is like without them. He got his second chance, just like Tony said he got, and he wants to take advantage. The family gathers outside, and then they leave. Now, Kate arrives in New York and heads to her mother's house, where we see her and her new boyfriend, Jack. Yeah, remember Jack, okay? Jack is, in fact, the villain swordsman in the comics, and could be taking this role in the Hawkeye show. We'll have to wait and see if they call back from the comics. Kate notices there's a lot of swords around, but Eleanor just tells her she will explain later. We then go to Barton's at a restaurant where Clint has ordered a lot of food and asks the kids what they want to do before Christmas, which is in 6 days at this time. Once again, we're 2 years after Endgame. They say gingerbread houses, movie marathon, uncomfortable sweaters, all Christmas things you would do. That's what me and my family do. We then see Kate at this event with her mom and Jack, where a man named Armand approaches. Now, Armand tells Kate that her mother and Jack are engaged, which that annoys Kate. She's not happy about that. She goes up to her mother to confront her, and she apologizes and asks if Kate can be happy for her. Her mom and her aren't really getting along that great. Maybe because her dad passed away. I don't know. Kate agrees but goes outside to catch her breath, where she meets Lucky the dog. That's right, we've seen promotional material for Lucky the dog too, who runs away when Kate notices him. Then she goes back into the party, and she notices kind of a shady conversation between Armand and Eleanor. And Kate ends up following Armand to an underground auction. You guys are seeing some foreshadowing going on here with villains, okay? Jack appears as well, sits next to Armand while Kate watches from the shadows. Now, the first item for auction, it's a Triceratops skull. The auctioneer states that he doesn't know how he got it, so it could be a reference to the savage land where dinosaurs still roam. The next item, it's Clint's sword, where he took the role of Ronin and took down so many of the crime syndicates during, after the snap, if you will. It's revealed, after Thanos' snap, it's revealed that no one knows that Clint was Ronin. So Jack and Armand compete for the sword, with Armand winning. The next piece is the actual suit that Ronin wore. Looks like Clint buried these in the Avengers compound before they were taken and then put up for auction. And then we get the tracksuit mafia right from the comics. Absolutely great representation. They burst through the wall and they start stealing all the items. Now in a struggle, Jack takes the sword, possibly to go on to become the swordsman, foreshadowing, we'll see. And then Kate takes the Ronin suit and starts to fight off against the tracksuit mafia, showing how skilled of a fighter she already is, but also showing she's got stuff to learn. We then see a thug holding a watch from the Avengers compound before Lucky the dog actually attacks him. Now, at the moment, Kate appears, follows Lucky, saves him from being run over before escaping the entire scene. We then go to a hotel room, and the Bartons arrive after their meal, and Clint sees his old Ronin suit on TV and immediately gets flashbacks of Avengers Endgame, where he wore the suit and he killed so many people. This was when his family was gone. They had been ripped away from him. He didn't think he had anything to live for. Kate then takes Lucky the dog to her apartment and leaves to go find Armand. So we're at Armand's house now. Kate breaks in, finds him dead. The cleaning lady then appears, but Kate escapes just before she is caught. Now, as Kate gets away, the tracksuit mafia tracks her down and corners her. She starts to fight them, but is overwhelmed. Once again, she's good, but she's not that good. She traps herself in a car before a hooded figure aids her and fights off the men. Guess who the hooded figure is? You guessed it. It's Clint. He then pins her against the wall as Kate realizes it's Hawkeye. She freaks out. Clint asks who Kate is, and the episode ends. And we see a lot get set up here, okay? There's clearly some underground society that Armand and Jack are part of, which has some connection to the tracksuit mafia. And with Jack having the Ronin sword, we could see him and Eleanor team up to actually be the villains in this series. We'll have to see. Time will tell. But I think this was a great start to the Hawkeye series. Let me know what you guys think. Did you catch any other Easter eggs or references? And I'll see you for episode 2 soon.